Guillotine is the goddess of incursions. Hello everybody! If you don't know already, every Friday myself and frontline MCOC, aka Dan, my co-host of the Contest Round podcast, put together an incursion stream where we test an OG champion, a obscure champion, a highly unrated champion, so an underrated champion really is what I'm trying to say. We test that out. She doesn't have any buffs. She still has the capability of getting a dexterity buff, which can trigger various different things, which I'm going to put on screen in a moment. General playstyle side of things, I would say it's all about bleeding enemies to get some good stuff out of it. The awakened ability, which you can see on screen at the moment, the Souls of the Ancestors empower Guillotine further, granting a 10% chance to steal 41.52% of damage done as health for every 4 souls she possesses. Max minimum is 41.52% health steal, regardless of current soul count. Now, that's the key thing. Regeneration. Sustainability, the key word there. And one thing myself and Dan were finding was this was pretty darn impressive to have this champion be in there in later rooms with not so much of a scratch. The only disadvantage is of building souls, which can't really be done if you can't bleed an enemy. Now on screen as well, you can see very different synergy combinations. There's even Ronin, which could be put into this combination. So you got Huntress of the Contest. So Guillotine with a 50% chance when striking a bleed opponent to gain a soul charge, which again, that is very important. That probably would have been a better setup to the one that we did, but there's lots of configurations. I don't think we can try every single configuration. It'd be like saying, well, we can't really kind of quit out and do a new one. But it is a good point. Gamora's may have been better, especially having Gamora on the team for extensive buffs added to it. But maybe that's a further incursions video for us to do to inspect those particular champions. We've got Guillotine 2099, which allows 20% bleed ability, accuracy, and potency. Helpful if the enemy is bleeding, otherwise not. Guillotine, double immunity. Guillotine 2099, sorry, double immunity. Very helpful. Not to forget the likes of Night Thrasher, which is the reason I decided to put the team in the way I did, because critical hits have 50% chance to inflict a bleed, dealing 70% of attack as direct damage over 4.5 seconds. Very helpful to trigger off the bleed. Maybe Gamora again would be better for that particular pair up. With Guillotine being added or having Morningstar on the team, which I went for as it has a bleed immunity in as well. You know, just kind of like good fight to fight and continuing on the battle. So Guillotine would get a soul charge, take 10 seconds longer. They take 10 seconds longer to expire. Very helpful because those souls would be better to be on longer. Build more souls, build more potential to get more regen or health still down the line. Okay, now on to the hacks to look out for. I must admit there are quite a lot, especially if you balance things particularly well. Attribute boosts, they're usually quite good, and as well ramping up things with attribute boost attack, right the way through to critical damage rating. You can even go as far as to do physical resistance if you so choose, but I think ramping up on things like critical damage and attack are always a good thing to go with. Attack enhancements can be really good as well, focusing on the various basics, light, medium, heavy if you choose, and also special attack. Special attack could be a quite apt improvement. Debuff, reinforcement, bleed, yes, that works relatively well. And there's also other things, like if you get a prowess buff from getting some of the rarer hacks, and there's a lot of rarer hacks to choose from. You can look to get a prowess buff with perpetual offense, which is going to be good if you then go for your potency improvement. You can even look out for combinations that are a bit obscure. I myself was looking to trigger buff cornucopia more frequently and decided to choose it, I think first, then grabbing Rage into Combat. Rage into Combat allows you to get a Fury buff. Fury buff will trigger buff cornucopia. You see where I'm getting at with this. This was highly effective and pretty fun, as we're going to see in some of the footage coming up. I also look to put in some really obscure things like Tide of Combat. Not Tide of Combat, Compounding Harm. I was considering the likes of the other one, Tide of Combat and Rage into Combat. They always confuse me. Rage into Combat, not so much. But whenever Fury buff is gained, there's a percentage to gain a bar of power. Helpful if you're looking to spam in heavy special attacks, which the likes of Hyperion would be better for it. But from Guillotine's perspective, not so much. Martial Artist was also pretty good. So during basic attacks, your champion gains attack rating, buff and debuff duration improvements. So again, helpful stuff. All of it looked to rage with Rage into Combat, and as well that buff cornucopia he got for a lot of damage, which was really nice. Attack surges, pretty much standard with most champions of choosing, and I did choose attribute boost and multiplier down the line, as well as special augmentation, but I think that was just, I was forced to do that, forced to choose that. Either way, on screen are all the debuff, all the variant hacks that I used, and things to look out to exploit and improve. Now let's run the stream highlights and as well find out about a champion called DN.
Hey, Simula67, good to see you, buddy. Oh, and we got a raid. Hey, Josh. Raids are always appreciated. MSD. How's it going, man? Heard you're working on some Tigra footage in the in Labyrinth. You know what Rich and I are trying to do with this series is go off the beaten path a little bit and just show how there's so many different ways you can use these champs in Incursions that maybe aren't the traditional god tier champs, but have some really good utility.
Preach it. That's exactly it.
Rich, are you aware which champion is DN? Someone's asking about a nerf to the champion DN.
Oh no! Don't answer that! Don't answer that!
Oh,
I know who that is. Is that Coop?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch! I'm on to you! You came and did it in my stream. Go screaming on it. You think I'm not streaming with Dan? You think I wouldn't know? I know what you're up to! DN, man! You got banned in my chat because of that. It's all fun and games.
All right.
It's all a joke. I know you! I know you, Dan! No, not Dan. You're Dan. I know you, Coop. Nice try, bitch. Nice try.
He just put a smiley face in my chat. Oh my goodness.
It was like, who's DN? The whole chat is like, who's DN? And he goes, D's nuts. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I've got to make a note saying triggers buff cornucopia, because I'm going to go now with that Tide of Combat trigger.
Oh yeah.
Buff cornucopia. I was going to do a video going like the roadmap 2 months on. I might still do that. I don't know. Depends on timing and things.
I think right now people are just so excited about the Magneto buffs.
Yeah.
And I see that because on Frontline I can see what people are putting in for search terms on the site. And, it may not have come out well in the opening because I think it was so nervous. It was just like I got Doom, and like I didn't even react. I was just like, oh, thank you. Like finally, Dr. Doom. It's, you know, these dual class crystals are just they're so great. They're not going to solve all the problems, but the increased chance to target who you want is just so needed.
Damn it. I'm alive, by the way. I'm just damn it, because I was like trying to chain in something and didn't work as well as I wanted to. Oh my god. This is
record for concurrent viewers on the channel, so really appreciate this, guys. Now I have to figure out how to get through this Omega Red with a bunch of champions that do bleed damage. I'm going to try with Night Thrasher. Hey man, Falcon, appreciate you dropping by. We are doing well. We're just hanging out on this Friday night, having fun. Yeah, this Omega Red fight's going to be a little dicey, so. Oh, I shouldn't have stopped his regen. I should have thrown a special too. All right, so I'm at 30% right now. Not a huge amount of health, but I ended the fight at 100% health because of the synergy where Killmonger could heal from the debuffs and clear them, and then I was using the indestructible charges on the special 2 to eat some attacks and counterattack.
Oh god, I did like a heavy attack. What was it like? Okay, let's look over the good and bad points. Okay, good point is that the champion does a lot of bleed damage, which can be exploited to put improvements with debuff reinforcement. Also, the extent of regen does make the champion incredibly sustainable. Does it show any great immunities against some of the various nodes and configurations you'll see with bosses? No, that does lead to a bad point in that sustainable, but doesn't have a diverse ability that will interwork with enemies that you'll come across. So if a champion is an evading champion, do you have a slow debuff within the champion's build? No. Do you have any kind of immunities? No, you don't. Yes, you got the regen, but it's just not going to be extensive enough if you're ticking for a load of damage. And especially when it comes to the likes of Arcus as a fight that you might be going up against. Iceman, Human Torch, you name it, there isn't much kind of immunities there, so that's a disadvantage. But if you can get past that and as well have a good synergy and team pair up, then it can mean for some really sustainable further rooms that you'll get to. I would say if we had a rank 5 version, that we would have been able to get to further rooms or further zones. But really, the champion is incredibly fun, and I really would recommend this. Myself and Dan both had a great time with this champion. Sometimes it's a case that one likes the champion and one doesn't, but we both really agreed that this champion was just a great champion for you to go to if you wanted to do incursions and get to further rooms and have sustainability when going into said further rooms. You can put together synergy teams or team around it that would benefit against those disadvantages that I've been talking about. But ultimately, it was a solid choice. There we go. That's been a video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content similar to like this, and see you on Friday for another Incursion stream. Check out some stuff on there. Check out some stuff down there in Rich's realm, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.